This week's word of the week is going to be ironworker. I had somebody that wanted me to go over it on the comments in one of my YouTube videos, said go over what an ironworker is. So I said, okay, I can do that. And I found 3 different things, basically, 1, 2, 3, of what an ironworker is. And I think what the person in the comment section was asking what it was the actual machine. There's a machine that's called an ironworker, which we'll go over here in a minute. But there's some other things too. And I looked up in the dictionary, actually Webster's dictionary. Back in the day, there was this thing called a dictionary that you had to use. You didn't go to Google. You went to Webster's dictionary to look up the meaning of certain words. So I looked up Webster's. That's what I always look up when I want to see what the official definition is. And basically Webster said an ironworker is an individual that works with iron. So it could be like a welder, things like that. High steel, I wrote that right here. There's an ironworkers union, and ironworkers are considered high steel workers as well. So I put that there too. So a lot of people, when they hear ironworker, they think of the ironworkers union and high steel workers. So what we have here is somebody that works with iron, the union, ironworkers union, and then the machine. Those are the 3 things that ironworker could mean. I believe that the person that asked the question of what an ironworker is was referring to the actual machine. So I drew the arrow up over here. And if we're talking about the machine on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 not being a big deal, 10 being a huge deal if you don't know it, it's probably around a 7 or an 8, I would say, 7/8. It's pretty important. Most weld shops have an ironworker, and it's a very useful tool. I would say besides a welder, it's probably one of the most useful tools for the welding world that there is. So what does it do? We have one out here, and this is what the function that ours has. There's other ironworkers that do different things, but for the most part, it shears, punches, and notches. And then I drew an arrow over here to angle, so there's a flat spot to shear things off, and then there's angle iron spot in most of them. So you can just put angle iron in it, just lops it right off, shears it off, okay? And then it punches as well. Let me go back to shears. I think ours out there is up to 7/8 of an inch thick plate. So it's almost an inch thick plate, it just shears it right off. It's 55 ton. Back down to punches here. Punches, if you need a hole in something, you take a regular hand punch, dimple it, and there's a little cone on the bottom of the punches. You line that up into the dimple, and then it pops a hole into it. Ours, I think, goes from 1/8 of an inch all the way to 1 inch and 1/8. So 1 inch and 1/8 hole, it can pop in there. And then notches, if you had a piece of angle iron, so if you see an angle iron here, and you wanted to fit another piece of angle into it, there's a notcher that'll notch a square off right here, so it'll make this go away up to the width of the actual angle that you're butting up to it. And I'll show you that live out in the lab here in a minute. It'll make more sense, I guess. So I think ironworker, what they wanted to know was the actual machine, but understand there's also high steel ironworkers, union usually. And then the Webster's definition is just somebody that works with iron. They didn't even mention the ironworkers union or the machine, so I don't know. I'm assuming he means the machine, the person that wrote that in the comments. So we'll go out to the lab and we'll actually get a look at a real live ironworker. Alright, this is the ironworker here. Your main shear is right here, and it says it goes up to 7/8 of an inch. See this little angle right here? That's where your angle iron goes in. You can shear that off. There's your punch over here, your notcher over here. It works real simple. Turn this on, push the button down, line up the blade with whatever mark you have on, or put a stop in the back if you're doing a lot of stuff. That's all it is. I'll do a close-up of each thing now. All right, this is the main shear right here. Probably can't see it. And the angle one is right there. And we come over here to the puncher. And you can see there's like a, I don't know, 7/16 punch. Pops a hole into it. Then over here is your notcher. Can you see in there? I don't know if I can see in there real well. There goes the notches. Now I'll perform all the functions here. Alright, so I drew a line right here on this. This is about 3/8 plate. I don't know, 3-4 inches wide. I'm going to put the camera on the back so you can see it shear off in the back. Alright, function number 1 is to shear this off with the plate. There's our plate, we just sheared it off. And now we'll do a punch. Right where that hole is, we'll pop a hole in it real quick. Alright, function number 2, punch. That's how easy it is, just pop a hole in something. So this is function number 3. You can see a piece of angle iron. I made a mark right there. And that's gonna shear it off, and again I'll put the camera in the back so you can see the drop. So we just sheared off function number 3, the angle iron shear. Now we're going to notch it. So if you wanted 2 angles to come at a 90 like this is where you'd use the notcher. So we'll go pop the notcher in. So there's our angle, our notcher. Function number 4. Ready? There you go. Alright, so there's our fit up. I guess my line was a little off. You wouldn't want to have that big gap. All you'd have to do to fix this is go over there and, you know, notch it again just a little bit further. So that's function 4. A notcher, our final function on the ironworker. So hopefully that explains what an ironworker does. All 4 functions on this one anyways. Thanks for watching and subscribing to TV Weld.